Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the second video of the day. This is going to be focusing on the spotlight for Shang-Chi. Now the point of recording this video, I don't know whether or not the build has gone live, so this may already be in game. So either go to the forums or this will be in game by the time if the new update is indeed out. As Kabam have put here, like Shang-Chi uses medium and light attacks to perform combos called Wushu Strikes. These allow Shang-Chi to access powerful utility and land guaranteed critical hits. As Shang-Chi lands critical hits, he increases his critical damage rating, making him hit harder the longer the fight lasts. So is it going to be something that's going to be applicable to damage on Abyss? Well, difficult if we're talking a specific amount of hits he can do, and there's something about like he's got a critical damage rating for the rest of the fight, but it's a max of 300 hits per critical hit damage. So does that mean that it limits the amount of hits that you would do in something like Abyss of Legends, especially with 200? I think it's 240. You know, it just doesn't come in kind of line with that. But this requires testing a little bit more information. Also, the other side of things to this is like this could be a really good option of a champion to take on Captain America 6.3.6. It's something that's just 100%ed that. It's kind of like just looking for options because you can use Ghost especially for it, but I tried to use other champions because I just got a bit bored of using Ghost. I liked using Corvus for that one, but again, this could be like similar to Corvus in that whilst something is active or while you're working for something, you're always going to be guaranteed critical based hits. But in any case, let's read on. One of the most interesting things to explain has got to be Shang-Chi's attacks, all these kind of like buffs that he has. And I think this is when things become a little bit well known, especially with the ones here and how they correspond. Now it says that all Wushu Strikes start readied and can be performed by hitting hits or striking into blocks with a series of specifically ordered attacks. Performing a Wushu Strike unreadies it indefinite. So those strikes or those things correspond as said here. All Wushu Strikes start readied and can be performed by hitting, landing a hit or striking into a block with a series of specifically ordered attacks. Performing a Wushu Strike unreadies it indefinitely. So the last hit is a guaranteed critical hit, provides 1 chi charge and activates bonus effects. Disarming Strike is medium. The last hit cannot be interrupted, remove the opponent's unstoppable effects and inflict a slow debuff. That's very handy, reducing the evade and unstoppable. Readied Wushu Strike slow won't trigger against natural class advantage. Okay. Cleansing Strike medium, light, medium. So this is cool because this is one of these champions that by doing different things it corresponds to different types of either good things or bad things. So Purify 3 debuffs, gain 1 cleanse passive for each readied Wushu Strike, lasting until his Wushu Strike's readied again. When a champion champion with cleanse is inflicted with a debuff, it is immediately purified and cleanse is removed. Nice. Breaking Strike, which is medium, light, medium. The last hit becomes unblockable when striking into a block. Gain an unblockable buff lasting 1.5 seconds for each readied Wushu Strike and pausing during Shang-Chi's special attacks. Pinpoint Strike, medium, light, medium. Inflicts a stun debuff lasting a flat 0.65 seconds for each readied Wushu Strike. So I guess you can do that very much kind of, at the point of like all of the stuff is ready. So I guess all of the thing that we see on screen right now with those kind of things there, if you do that, you kind of like start the stun. So how to play this champion is going to be very much kind of like, I don't know, very specific to how you kind of like, how you play personally. And maybe there's something in particular that you want to play or a way that you want to play. And it's going to be exciting to like just play about this champion. Be very intentional with the order that you perform Wushu Strikes as their effectiveness scales with the number of readied Wushu Strikes. So that's a no-brainer. That's what we just said just then. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, this is a odd ability, but I like the damage potential and I like the little bit of the utility factor to this. It's just going to be a case of like how much of a stretch this max 300 hits is to point of like how you play it properly. When it comes to perfectly timed blocks and dodges, these windows require very precise timing that is tricky to get a handle of at first. With these actions perfected, Shang-Chi will gain more chi charges, making his SP2 attack deal more damage. Try dodging and blocking at the very last second to achieve perfect timing. So gain the perfect timing, get your chi charges, which you're going to apply in a minute to stuff. So gain a precision buff for each chi charge increase. So get loads of chi charges, do a heavy attack, and I'm guessing chaining to an SP2, which indeed is the case. The heavy attack is useful for quickly prepping all Wushu Strikes in case the utility is required or stacking a large amount of chi charges before cashing out with a chunky SP2. Okay, I mean that again makes sense. A lot of champions do this. Your Colossuses. I think the same thing can be said for Red Guardian. And in any case, there's a lot of that narrative about where you just kind of like you do heavy, throw special attack. I mean, you know, it's like Magneto, for example. Now, just to kind of bring people up to speed, if you're kind of like watching this, not really understanding what is a Wushu charge and what is chi, this is chi right here, the white symbol, that's chi. And all these dark orange symbols, they are the Wushu Strikes. The Wushu Strikes are the utility. The chi is something that plays into the effectiveness of things. Like it could be more for the scaling of damage. Which again, helpful for the SP2, which is landing this attack or striking into a block will perform the last Wushu Strike used with equal potency. If no Wushu Strikes have been used, the pinpoint strike is performed. And the developer notes the special attack allows Shang Chi to double down on one of his Wushu Strikes. Need more cleanse passives. How about another stun debuff? So it could be sort of handy. It's going to be a case of like how you play this champion for the point of the utility factor, and we're going like, okay, so I need an option that can take on and cleanse stuff from Biohazard, for example. I don't think that's going to be like completely the case. I think it's going to be more of an example of usage and where it can be used, because there's going to be loads of places. So that's just cool, but as well, the damage factor is going to be an important thing. The SP2, it's each hit is a guaranteed critical hit. I'm so looking forward to using this champion with the SP2. Consume all chi charges, increasing the attack rating of each hit by 690.3 for each chi charge. All unreadied Wushu Strikes are readied. So again, this is going to be pretty cool for the damage side of things. It's going to be huge damage dealing potential, and as well the gaining of chi charges. And whether or not you kind of look to go for SP3 first, because of that, it's like gain 100 plus 182.61 critical damage rating for the rest of the fight, and gain 4 chi charges. If you have more chi charges, you're then able to kind of utilize this. This is Shang-Chi's only way to cash out his chi charges, so build them up and perform this special for some big yellow numbers. So that's going to be the thing. Maybe SP3 first, then it's a case of like going into the SP2 after that, but heavy attack into an SP2. Especially because like building chi charges, man, that is going to be the thing, isn't it? So look out to do that well-timed block to get those chi charges as much as you possibly can. Do the SP3, then do subsequent SP2s, heavy SP2, for the great amount of spicy damage. Now what's his signature ability all about? Let's have a look. So critical hits deal a burst of 20% of his hit damage as physical damage. That's very much giving me some like vibes of Namor, which you know, not completely, but at least it kind of like gives top-ended damage. Critical hits deal a burst of 20% of his hit damage. Shang-Chi can perform critical hits through the opponent's block. Interesting, again, very Corvus-like. Personal abilities that trigger on critical hits will trigger through block. Nice. So Shang-Chi's signature ability increases overall damage with burst of physical on critical hits, and also allows him to trigger critical hits through his block. This means he can increase his critical damage rating quicker than before. Nice. Okay, I think this definitely will be one of those champions to rank up. Rank up, yeah, but kind of like awaken, yeah, more than likely. Especially if you're going to be trying to do that little bit more damage, or giving you that little bit more of a fighting edge. Not desired, completely desired. It's just a pretty cool synergy, a pretty cool ability to be awakened. Especially again, if you're going to look at the likes of other champions, which give you that vibe. Namor meets what is it called? Meets Corvus, so you get that kind of like smush there. Synergies wise, what have we got? What have we got for you? Well, Shadowland, Shang-Chi dodges an attack with perfect timing, inflicts a falter passive with 100% of the opponent's attack to miss for 2 seconds. Cool. Contact attacks, bypass his falter and remove the effect. Right, okay, fine. That's with Mr. Negative on the team. Mr. Negative degeneration debuff triggered in SP2 have 10% chance to inflict an additional copy of themselves. We'll be doing that or looking over Mr. Negative in a minute. So Shang-Chi starts the fight with 4 chi charges, if with Iron Fist. And Iron Fist and the Immortal one, each hit on the special attack guarantee critical hits and gain a flat plus 35% personal armor break ability accuracy. There's still nothing really been done with Iron Fist, and I hope down the line something is. And yeah, if there's anything else, yeah, She-Hulk, Luke Cage, block proficiency, okay. But then the way of the Spider, which is critical hits, bypass 20% of armor and resistances. Nice. That's okay, that's helpful. Spider-Man can use perfect timing while performing wild time block or a dodge. Attack gain a cruelty buff, increasing critical damage rating by 45% for 30 seconds. That's actually pretty solid. It's just a bit of a shame that Spider-Man isn't one of those, or Spider-Man Classic, which I assume this is all to do with, isn't like held as one of the kind of like go-to champion. If it was Spider-Men, then it would be very different, and I think sure a lot of players would be interested, but it is what it is. And there's one here like called with Eyes of the Dragon. Landing a critical hit grants an additional plus 2% critical damage rating, max 100 hits. So that could be fun, worth checking out. It's got an Ant-Man one there, Black Widow, Captain America Classic. Okay, so that's really the thing with this. Kabam is saying that the Wushu Strikes utility, Wushu Strikes can be performed quickly with very few actions and variety. Okay, and critical hits is strength because his damage comes from critical hits. He bypasses most armor resistances and the opponent has. Okay, and then critical hit punish. Shang-Chi relies on the critical hits for all of his damage. Opponents with abilities that counter critical hits, which I think there's many, but one in particular would be Invisible Woman. Not that a lot of people would use a class disadvantage against him, but you know, stranger things have happened with this game. That's really concluded a lot of the going over of Shang-Chi. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please hit the like button, subscribe for more content. We'll do Mr. Negative in a minute. All the best. Bye-bye.